So I'm going to compare today the Nothing Phone 3A Pro with the Google Pixel 9a. So these are the two phones which are kind of like a similar, I would say, range in a way, but they have few huge differences. And if you're thinking about either moving to Pixel or Nothing, then I hope this video will help you make a better decision. So the first, obviously we're still starting with the display. So the Nothing Phone 3A went for, definitely they're going for a bigger display. It's 6.77 inch AMOLED display, which is, something which is pretty decent. And we're having the resolution of 1080 by 2392 with up to 120 Hz of refresh rate. While the Google Pixel, it's having much smaller. So this is a much smaller device, as you can see, boom, right here, because it is only 6.3 OLED display with 1080 by 2424 resolution and also up to 120 Hz resolution refresh rate. Sorry. When it comes to the peak brightness, this is also a small difference because Nothing Phone 3A supports 3000 nits and with the 387 ppi, while the Nothing Phone supports 2700 nits, 422 ppi. So this is, that means that the Nothing Phone will be much more visible during the daylight and the sunlight, especially if you're, outside. So when it comes to the design, obviously, like Google Pixel is going for a, simple design, back plastic and a little bit of aluminum on the side. So it is smooth, it is elegant, it is, designy, elegant. Well, Nothing Phone, it's going for, a crazy vibe, right? Because we have a glass and the plastic, and we also have the glyph interface, so that's a very unique feature about the Nothing Phone 3A and 3E Pro. So this is definitely making it much difference. So when it comes to the processor, the Nothing Phone 3A Pro runs the Snapdragon 7S Gen 3 with octa-core 2.5 GHz, while the Google Pixel has their own chipset, which is the Google Tensor G4 octa-core 3.1 GHz, which by the Antutu score says it's 63% faster for multitasking and gaming. So Google's definitely winning on the gaming side when it comes to the processor, but like they're both pretty decent. So both of those phones come in the configuration of 8 GB of RAM and 128 GB of storage, or 256 GB of storage. So it's kind of like a, kind of the same one. So they kind of both don't have the expansion or allowing any kind of SD cards and stuff like that. So when it comes to the OS, well, this is definitely different because the Google Pixel has the Android 15, but like a normal version of the Android 15, and it offers the 7 years of security updates. This is decent. This is very decent. While the Nothing Phone has the Android 15, but they have their own Nothing OS. So you're kind of having a slightly different vibe than, a Google Pixel, but it's pretty cool. And, I think that's just definitely a unique experience. And you also get a special features like Essential Space, which you don't get on a Google Pixel, which I think is nice. So when it comes to the battery, so we are actually here on a similar vibe because the Google Pixel has a 5100 mAh battery and the Nothing Phone has 5000 mAh battery. But the Google Pixel only supports 23 watt charging, wire charging, and 7.5 wireless charging, while the Nothing Phone is definitely winning here because it actually supports 50 watt wired charging, but it doesn't have a wireless charging. So if you don't mind not having the wireless charging, then it is slightly different vibe. So if you want wireless charging, I would go for Google. If you want higher wire charging, then this is the better choice. So when it comes to the cameras, I know everyone's asking about the cameras. I also reviewed those cameras separately on my channel, so you can check out the photos from each of those phones. But the Google Pixel, with their design, they have two cameras, which is the 48 megapixel OAS camera and a 13 megapixel ultra wide. Why? Well, the Nothing Phone, having this, huge island here, beautiful island, has 3 different cameras, you know. They have a 50 megapixel camera, another 50 megapixel telephoto with 3 times zoom, and 8 megapixel ultra wide. And also at the front, nothing is winning because Google Pixel only has 13 megapixel camera, while the Nothing phone has the 50 megapixel camera, which is, you know, a pretty big difference between those. So the last kind of feature difference, obviously, like Google Pixel comes with the, you know, Gemini and the Pixel Studio and a cool AI features, which are definitely, you know, working, and they're very nice to, you know, play with and kind of make your life easier. While the Nothing phone doesn't really have that much, but it also has that essential space, which is kind of their built-in space with which they're kind of building. So it's kind of a different vibe of a phone, and it also has the glyph, obviously. So the glyph allows you to get notification and stuff without actually, you know, looking at the phone. So it's kind of trying to have it distraction less, I would say. So yeah, it is a definitely different vibe. So when it comes to the pricing, we're actually at the similar kind of vibe here, because the Google Pixel 9a cost £499, while the Nothing Phone 3a Pro cost £449. So it's kind of like only £50 difference. I think they're both very unique phones. So if you like design, classy, then Google is a good choice. If you like, you know, something unique, modern, then Nothing Phone is probably a go. Which one would you choose, or already chosen? Let me know. And remember, if you like my videos, just hit that like and subscribe so you're up to date with everything what's going on. And see you in the next video. Take care.
MadTechTalk, tech so fly, breaking down gear, let's amplify. Sub like, don't miss a thing. Tech reviews with a little bling. We out for now, but stay tuned. More fire tech is dropping soon.